Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob from Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a kind of an interesting video. I'm in the backyard and it's not really a review or impressions, but it's me talking about something that is really cool. And if you haven't gotten one of these, you should consider it. I had a Wee Knives Banter before, and that's what this is. This is the Wee Knives Banter. It's not the mini, or the baby Banter, sorry, or the big Banter. This is just a regular Banter. And I put these Unlocked Composites scales on there. They're titanium, they're milled, they're contoured, and they have what's called a relief cut in there. So you can see right there where the thumb goes in for the liner lock to disengage the liner lock and then release the blade, right? So what happens is it's kind of cut out. In my original one, I had a carbon fiber version of this that was the marble carbon fiber, and it was very square around the edges of the knife, and it wasn't chamfered or rounded like this is. And after a while, my finger moving in here was just so uncomfortable, and it just really hurt. I ended up, I would only carry the knife and hold it for just a little bit of time, and it was just so uncomfortable. It was very, very frustrating for me. So when I heard that Unlocked Composites had these types of scales, I thought, yeah, I'm going to get them. Well, for a while they weren't making them. I think they were getting new machining and putting in place, and now they have started to make them, and they have different versions of this. This one has, I don't know if you can see the texture on here. Let's see if we can get up close. You can see the little square patterns on there. It's definitely a texture, but it's not harsh or anything, but it gives you a good grip. There's some that are milled to the side, like for instance, I'm going to grab my little baby Banter I have in my pocket. This one right here, which is also an Unlocked Composite scales, and you can see this is kind of linear on the side. It's really cool because it gives you really great texture, but when it goes into the pocket, it's not going to rip it up and tear it up. So that's really nice. So this is really nice for the baby Banter if you haven't known that they do that. And again, we have that relief cut into the liner lock to disengage the lock, so it's very easy to disengage, especially because this is a steel liner lock, and sometimes they tend to be very strong, or it's very hard to work with a fingertip. And if you got big meaty fingers like this can get very uncomfortable going in between two scales if it's not really cut out or if there's no relief there. And so with this, it makes it very easy to open and close, right? So going back to the Banter, I'm getting that out of my pocket because I'm out in the backyard doing this video. This one right here is beautiful. It's a different variation, and I think they have 3 or 4 variations of this right now with some different pattern designs you can order. I'm so impressed. I got to tell you, this made this knife a completely new knife. It went from like, that's a cool knife. I like the Ben Patterson Banters, right? I like the baby Banter, the Banter, and the big Banter, and I thought that's really cool. But I can tell you, my finger is not tired. It's not sore or anything like that from releasing the liner lock on this knife at all. It makes this such a fun knife. You know, I can easily reverse flick it with my middle finger, so that's really nice. But there's just something really cool. I'm going to maybe call this a Rob's Ramblings, because what I want to ramble about is just cool, innovative designs. And something like this, a scale, to me is just innovative and it's really awesome, and something worth considering. Something maybe if you haven't gotten one, you should consider it, because I got to tell you, the contouring and the chamfering on this scale with the relief there for the liner lock makes this such a comfortable knife to carry. It makes it a comfortable knife to use. I have really enjoyed carrying this knife 10 times more, and it's made it a really, really fun knife. I'm just really, really highly impressed with what the work they've done here. And what's really cool is I have a big Banter, and I really would love to see these scales on that. And I spoke to the guy on Instagram, and he said they're in the process of working on those. And so I don't know when that will be. I don't know if that's going to be a few months or a few weeks. But when they come out, I check regularly because I want to get them for my big Banter. Because the big Banter already is great. It already has, and I think they realized it in their design, it already has a relief cut there. Makes it easy to work, but it's still very sharp on the edges. It's not as smooth as this carbon fiber scales are. And I have to tell you, if you saw any of my shorts, if you haven't, check them out. This in the sunlight is gorgeous. It really is. The reflection on the carbon fiber, this twill pattern is just gorgeous. Makes it just look fantastic. That's really, really a nice aesthetic. Makes this look like a much higher end knife. Now this is S35VN steel, so it's, you know, it's a great knife, great steel, treated well. I mean, it's not awesome. It's WE knives. We know that they don't go to the highest specs, but it's still very sufficient. I can tell you on a leather strop, this has been very, very easy to maintain a very, very sharp edge, basically almost a crazy sharp edge. I'm definitely razor sharp, but sometimes I get it to the crazy sharp just with stropping this knife. It's really a lot of fun. So, and I don't know what you think of, but I think this makes this knife look just so much better. And I don't know if you can see that right there. Just a really gorgeous little knife here. I used it tonight to cut an apple, so I think I have some stuff on there still. Probably got to wash that off, but I don't know. I mean, can you see that? I mean, do you get what I'm saying? See right here, I put my finger in, and then when I drop it, just drops right down. Now what I do is I drop it to that sharpening choil right there so it doesn't dig into my nail. So you see it's falling right there on the sharpening choil, which is not my nail, right? So that makes it very easy. And the action on here, of course, you know, if you watch any of my videos, if you're a subscriber or watch these videos regularly, I do tune my detents. I like a lighter detent. I don't like a crazy light detent, but I don't like a super, super firm detent. Ooh, the bugs are flying on me. Get out of here, bug. I don't like a super tight detent, right? So I enjoy it to have that kind of drop action that's there. I still want to engage the liner lock fully into the blade, into the tang of the blade, right? We want to make sure we don't have any blade rock going on, but so it's a fine line between, making sure the knife is working and locking up as it needs to it just, being overly strong. Now, there are folks out there who love much stronger detents, so go for it. Man, I'm never going to tell you don't make a strong detent, because what I do to tune my detent, I could tune it to a much stronger detent if I wanted to, right? It would be the opposite of what I do to get a stronger detent, and that's certainly possible. And I have tons of videos on that if you haven't taken a look, and maybe check them out. But and how to tune the various detents on a frame lock, a liner lock, things like that. Very simple. If you're comfortable taking your knife apart, you're comfortable working with it, and you're patient and you don't rush, it's definitely worth your time. But again, I just want to talk a little bit about this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful scales that I put on here that I'm so impressed with. Have really, really allowed me to enjoy this knife afresh. This has really made this knife so much more enjoyable. And I don't know, I guess I would call this little things that happen that just make a knife so much nicer. And that would be really great design scales. And, I know other designers out there like Flightanium and RGT, and I'm thinking of other designers out there that make scales, Met & Boss, and some other folks. They do some of this stuff that just make knives so much nicer and more enjoyable. I have some of those scales on my Para 3 and my Para 2, my Smock, my Shaman, but my Shaman, I have them, various knives that I'll put those on. But I'll tell you what, the WE knives banter and the WE knives big banter, I can't wait for the big banter, but the WE knives banter, so worth it. If you were on the edge because you didn't like the design and you're okay with the size and everything because it was sharp edges, this is your answer. This is the answer to a great knife, to a knife that looks potentially good to becoming a great knife. So that's really where I stand on this. That's my thoughts, my ramblings on this, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like this video, maybe, hey, consider hitting the subscribe button down there below. And if you like the video, hit the like button as well. I sure would appreciate it. It helps me to know that my content I'm providing is of value, and I'll keep on producing more. And if you like this stuff and you want to be notified of upcoming videos, maybe hit that notification button. That would allow you to see the future videos that I release. And then if you like this content, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. That's robs_nerdy_knives. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.